how to hatch chicken eggs in an incubator. That's what we're going over here today, is how to hatch these eggs in an incubator. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's very simple and very easy. This is the first, I've done it one time, and that's what I'm showing you here in this video. And it was real easy. I bought an incubator new, read the instructions in the box, followed them to what it said, and in 21 days I had biddies hatching out. I'm gonna go over with you today what I've done to hatch these chickens in the incubator. And I'm gonna read over these instructions to just what I went by and done today. You gotta have eggs from hens that's been with roosters so they'll be fertile. And you need an incubator. And the location for your incubator is crucial. You need to have it in a room where the temperature stays between 74 and 80. And it says you don't need to be in a room where the temperature drops below 72. It could affect the hatch rate. So I put mine in my shop. And on this incubator, it come new, it was preset. The temperature was preset to 99.5 degrees. That's the temperature that it's got to stay at for 21 days for the eggs to hatch. The humidity needs to stay around 50%, between 48 and 55%. And on my incubator here, every 2 or 3 days, I had to add water to keep the humidity level high, because it would drop. When the water would run out, it would drop way down. So you gotta keep the water checked, and that's one of the things that's very important. That's really all the work you have to do, is make sure you keep water in the incubator so the humidity level stays right, stays around 50%. And the incubator that I have, and I guess all the new incubators probably turn automatic, because the eggs had to be turned 2 or 3 times a day. They have to move. The incubator that I bought, it turns every so many hours. It'll turn a little bit, so it moves the eggs. And that's what them hens do when they set on them. I've watched hens roll eggs around with their beaks. And when you're putting it on my incubator, it told me to put the eggs where the point of them is pointing toward the inside of the incubator. And I've done a little bit of video and as I was doing this, so we'll look at that also. But it's pretty simple. That's really all you got to do. Your incubator needs to stay at a temperature of 99.5 degrees for 21 days. Your humidity needs to stay around 50%. Between 48 and 55, they say is acceptable for most poultry. 3 days before the eggs hatch, the automatic turner shuts off. And that's when you increase the humidity. It needs to be around 70% the last 3 days before they hatch. And the way you do that is that on my incubator, it's got a small reservoir for water and a large reservoir for water. And 3 days before the eggs hatch, and on my incubator, it's got a date on it. It tells you when they're going to hatch, how many days you got left. But 3 days before they hatch, you fill both reservoirs up with water, and you open up it's got an air vent on it. The air vent's how you control the humidity also, and you adjust the humidity with that vent, opening it and closing it, and all that water in it. So 3 days before they hatch, it needs to be around 70% humidity. And then once the biddies hatch, I left my biddies in the incubator for 24 hours until they are dry and fluffy and walking around. Because when they first come out, they flop around, just flopping around really. They'll lay down and flop a little bit and get up and try to walk. But you want them walking around before you put them in a brooder. But you want a light in there, you want water in there, you want food in there. And when you put them down in your brooder, you want to stick their beak in the water so they'll know there's water there. And that's all I really done. And now my biddies are about 2 months old. They're half grown. They pretty big. I put 9 eggs in and 5 hatched. And I heard that's about normal. About 60% hatch rate's normal. The other 4, I guess, weren't fertile. But I left them in another 2 days after the other ones hatched. They started hatching one night about 6 o'clock. And the next morning they were still some hatching. So I left them in, but they got through hatching that day. All the 5 were hatched from that night to about the middle of the next day. All of them was hatched. And then I left the other ones in there for another day and a half, but they weren't no good. You can candle them. This incubator I've got a light on it where you can hold it over to see if it's got something in it or not. But that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to hatch chicken eggs. Incubators. All right, what I done was read the instructions, and it tells you exactly what to do. It's pretty simple. It said to let it heat up, and I've let it heat up. It's supposed to be at 99, around 99.5. Humidity needs to be around between 48 and 55, and we there, so I'm gonna put the eggs in. And on this incubator, it said to put the point of the eggs facing in towards the center of the incubator, and that's what we're gonna do. See if we can hatch these eggs off. My very first time incubating eggs. We're gonna have 9. One of them pointed in. I really can't tell on that one. Alright, it said once we get the eggs in to do a test run to turn and see if it's going to turn right. Check them again, make sure they all turning. One more time. Yeah, they turning. All right. Let's see. 21 days till hatch. We got 21 days. All right, let's see what happens. It's been 21 days. It's time for them to hatch, and they hatching. Look at there. And outgrew his egg, outgrew his home. Trying to get out of there. But that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple, pretty easy to hatch chicken eggs. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped somebody with their hatching chicks in their incubator. It's real easy. I'm gonna hatch some more because they grow fast. I mean, if you grow them, and I've got these to have more biddies, but you can eat them. I mean, they grow pretty quick. But if this video helped you, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.